Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Wrestling Heads Radio. I am Skits, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Oscar and Tom. What is going on, gentlemen?
What a great SummerSlam fucking weekend, man. Shit, I wish it didn't end.
Man.
Yeah, sounds like you guys had a good time, even on pay-per-view. Actually, on the WWE Network. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Definitely a good show. So you guys must have had a ton of fun there.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me about it, bro. Where do I start? I mean, first of all, we had a show on Saturday at the Wrestling Guy store. Had a good time talking to some wrestling fans that are actually part of the show with us. You know, we got a lot of wrestling fans' opinions on SummerSlam. Met some cool people there. Shout out to Mr. David Gomez, who let us have the show there. Yeah, man. Pretty sure Oscar had fun too.
Yeah, I had fun too. Yeah, and shout out to David Gomez. I mean, I'm sure he had. You know what? They had two signings in one day in that store, and I swear to God, there was a lot of people showed up. I'm sure they wanted to go to the Wrestling Guy store instead of that SummerSlam panel, which that was a freaking ripoff, you know. So I think you met like Lita. You paid for me to get to meet Lita and Drew McIntyre was cheaper than the cheapest panel price, you know, into the panel. So it was a great time, you know. I'm actually happy for David.
Plus, you know, we got to meet guys like Jack Swagger, Layla, Alicia Fox. Yes, I met Alicia Fox. Much shit I talk about her on here.
Yes. People, if people are listening who has not followed us on Instagram, you guys got to follow us. The picture's right there. You got to check it out. You know, all our pictures we met, it was great. Wade Barrett,
Big E,
Titus O'Neil, Big E, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
I actually said I drank a beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Road Dogg, Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, you met Road Dogg.
I'm not gonna get into the
Jimmy
Uso thing. Should I get into the whole Uso thing?
Do you want to?
Fuck it. Let me tell you guys a story, okay?
This is a shoot the shit Monday right here. Shoot the shit Monday right here.
I'm taking it's me, Oscar, and some other guys. We're all taking a picture of Jimmy Uso. He tells us these exact words. All right, respect my decision, y'all. But when my wife come out, talking about Naomi, do not ask her to take a photo. I'm like, wow, really, bro? You really that jealous? Like, we fucking fans. We trying to put her on the map too, you know? But it is what it is.
Yeah, Tom, you watch Total Divas, or anybody that's listening that watch Total Divas, the whole thing, or if you go back to the episode where, you know, that the Bulls didn't want to make a love angle for Naomi, and Jimmy didn't want that angle to go down, and because he's a jealous type guy. Well, I gotta tell you, it's legit. He is a jealous type dude. I mean, you know, it is really legit. So, I guess there's some parts in Total Divas that's real. So, there you go. He is really a jealous type dude.
Yeah, man. But hell of a weekend.
Another thing, before we move on, I just want to say, man, that dude was so showing off when he was in that club with Naomi. I mean, dude, grabbing her ass and all that shit. I'm like, motherfucker. He's all showing off like I'm hitting it and you're not.
You know what? Honestly, I would be more jealous of, like, Dean Ambrose, who's hitting Renee Young, who I feel like is 100 times hotter than Naomi. That's just me. And you know what? Ambrose wouldn't be jealous. He would just walk around being a badass, and he'd be like, yeah, I'm hitting it.
Oh, speaking about Ambrose, we did saw him on that weekend, and you know, it was kind of weird that he had a baseball cap and he was on the phone. He was like hiding on the dark. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck this dude's doing? You know,
He probably
you know,
just wants to
Batman
stay
or
away from
something.
people.
Yeah, he was like Batman or something. No.
But it was definitely cool, like meeting other guys, and meeting Daniel Bryan was cool too. D. Bryan.
Yeah,
I kind of
wanted
wanted to talk to him about some PWG. I was gonna tell him, do you want me to tell Excalibur? Did you say hi? But it looks like he was tired. You know, he just came from the gym or whatnot. So
yeah, he was working on that gym, and yeah, he looks fine. You know, he just looks okay. I was hoping for him to appear on SummerSlam, but he, you know, oh well.
Speaking of SummerSlam, let's go ahead and get into the SummerSlam talk. We had RVD versus Cesaro open up SummerSlam with the kickoff show, which actually I thought that was a good match. Cesaro was fucking showing off in that match, but clearly because we know RVD is close to leaving the WWE, he's got a couple more matches left. I'm thinking that this Friday is going to be his last match on SmackDown. RVD came up with the W. What you guys' thoughts on the whole match? Did you guys enjoy it? I'm going to go with Oscar first since she was there live.
Well, I missed like maybe the first 2 minutes as I was trying to get some food and beer, but then I hadn't seen the whole time, the rest of the match, and I enjoyed it. You know, I mean, they had a great match before that, so this type of match to happen during this time, no matter if it's a freaking pre-show match or whatever, they're still gonna, you know, go at it, and they did it. So I guess props to both of them, and yeah, it looks like RVD is going out the door. I mean, it's going to be the similar way when I remember back in, I think it was 2007 when he left, he wrestled Randy Orton. Randy Orton gave him a concussion. He was gone. So he could go the same way, you know?
I mean, RVD doesn't need to be around, to be honest with you. But, well,
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay pre-show match. You know, a couple of times I tend to skip this, but this was a good way to just kind of get the show rolling for a little bit. But you know, as we're gonna probably get into it soon, I thought the actual first match of SummerSlam really got the show off to a better start than what the pre-show did.
Yeah, man. Good kickoff for the WWE. They're kind of pissed at, you know, my boy Cesaro to get a chance to at least, you know, be a part of the actual pay-per-view. But, hey, hopefully in the near future. He did get a W tonight, which we'll get into a little later with the Raw talk. But, you know, the WWE, they open up their pay-per-view with a Intercontinental title matchup, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Fuck The Miz, by the way. But I didn't see this coming. Dolph Ziggler won the Intercontinental title. Did you guys know? Because I'm pretty sure we all predicted The Miz to win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we all did predict Miz to win. But, yeah, it was shocking. Maybe he finally heard from the fans that, okay, let's give Ziggler another chance. So, yeah, all these fans were cheering, push Ziggler, see what happens when he's carrying the Intercontinental title. Let's see what he does with the Intercontinental title. Like, you know, I want to see it come back to make it more prestige again. No offense to Dolph Ziggler, but I don't know if he's just a guy, but, hey, see what happens. But it looks like this feud's going to, well, I don't know if this, I want to see this feud continue, but see what happens.
I mean, we might as well go ahead and talk about, you know, tonight they basically had a rematch tonight, and it really didn't, I really thought that Miz was going to get the title right back, so I was surprised there.
Well, you know.
Weak-ass ending, right?
Yeah, weak-ass ending, but, well, if it went the way that you thought was going to happen, like Miz winning the title right away, I mean, so many fans will be pissed off. They'll be fucking tweeting that shit on Twitter. You know, like, what the fuck is this? You know, there's a lot of Dolph Ziggler fans around.
The thing is, when don't us WWE fans or wrestling fans ever complain about anything? you know, that's part of being a wrestling fan. You know, we complain if we don't like something or we do praise it. So, I mean, if we liked everything, wrestling would probably be boring. But let's take a quick call. We got 289 waiting on us. 289, who's calling?
I think I know it is.
What's going on, guys? You know it's me, Matthew from Weekly Wrestling Podcast. What's up, guys?
What's up, Matt?
Matt.
Just taking it easy, guys. Really busy weekend there at Smash Wrestling, but we're talking Raw and SummerSlam, so both phenomenal shows from the WWE. It seems like lately that's been kind of a hard thing with the WWE, but I had no problem getting through a 3-hour show tonight, and that's the first time I've been able to say that in probably a few months.
Yeah, you know, it seems like, you know, we all been busy because we had SummerSlam here in Los Angeles, and you guys had Smash Wrestling over there, so, yeah, you know, it's been really busy. We just had a crazy-ass weekend, you can say. You saw our Instagram, so.
Yeah, man, I'm a little bit jealous, but I'll keep that to myself.
Okay, which one are you mostly jealous of? Which one?
Oh man, I part of me wants to say Paige, but no, Steve Austin, man, that's awesome.
The Austin one, okay.
Yeah, man. I know me and you were talking earlier, Matt. We were actually talking about the whole Paige, AJ, which that match last night at SummerSlam, Paige actually came up with the victory, and I believe here on the show, gentlemen, I think I was the only one that said Paige is going to win, right?
No, we all said Paige is going to win.
I could have sworn y'all said AJ, but never mind.
No,
you know,
I think I might have said AJ. I think I was the only one.
Well,
you know what? I threw away the paperweight, but I swear to God, there were some of us that all of them right, all of them wrong. So I maybe you could be it, but that could be it. Maybe you did pick AJ. I remember I picked Paige. So.
Speaking of AJ and Paige, I mean, this storyline is getting even more crazier and crazier. Tonight on Raw, Paige was in a match against Natalya. Really thought it was about to be a pure women's fucking wrestling match. You know, no bullshit. Alicia Fox, you know, or fucking Rosa Mendez or Cameron garbage. But we end up having AJ skip around, you know, basically distracts her, and then, you know, Natalya picks up that 1, 2, 3. Basically, AJ picked up the mic. I thought she was going to drop a pipe bomb. I was hoping, but she basically kind of reversed psychology on Paige, basically saying that I love you, Paige, blah, 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 you know. Kind of weird. But I'm actually digging this whole storyline with these two. And those girls put on a hell of a match last night at SummerSlam. You got your thoughts?
Okay, because I was there yesterday. It's funny that a couple of people sitting near me, they're like, take her top off. I want to see some tits or some shit like that, you know? Especially they went crazy when how Paige was on top of her and, you know, before she does all those headbutts, you know, they went a little crazy on that part. But, yeah, it was a great match. For some reason, because, you know, on Friday, we did met Paige, and watching her at SummerSlam and, you know, wrestling first, she looks taller. But, you know, being her taller than Paige in person, you know, we were like face to face with Paige, you know. And, you know, she just looks shorter in person. But in the ring, she looks taller.
Paige can get it. She can get it, bro. I mean, she's lucky Emma wasn't around her, because I would have told them both what room number you at, and I would have been in the room with them and left you hanging, bro. But that's another story for another day. What's your thoughts on the match? Fucking Tom.
That was a good match last night. You know, they just got a little under 5 minutes, which I would have liked to see them go longer than that, because obviously even in 5 minutes they put on, you know, a good match. You know, who knows if they got, you know, 10 or 15 minutes, what they could do. But I'm getting more interested in the storyline. Like I said last night, you started seeing things like taking like a sexual turn, And I said it last week, and I've been saying it for a couple weeks. It's reminding me more and more of the Mickie James and Trish Stratus feud, and now it's getting more apparent because they're both just getting crazier and weirder, and they're saying they love each other, and I don't know, but I'm interested, and hopefully we get to see a longer match if they do a blow-off match at Night of Champions.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Night of Champions. And we all hope that these girls actually put on a match. I remember when Paige was in fucking NXT and everybody's like, hell yeah, we need Paige so her and AJ can wrestle. And now we finally got both of them on the main roster, and we see that they're actually showing the Divas love. They're having more than one storyline, which we'll get into in a bit, but it's definitely good to see AJ and Paige go at it and with their feud, and they both have mic skills. I mean, I wouldn't say Paige is as fucking good as AJ, but she's getting better. But before we move on, did you want to comment on that match?
The whole Paige AJ thing is a really interesting thing. I just think switching the title right back onto Paige is a really weird idea, but if it works for them, go for it.
You know, it was her birthday yesterday too.
Yeah, we were talking about that, so I guess that did play a bit of a role into it. Not too much, not too sure how much of a role though.
I'm kind of mad I didn't tell her happy birthday. But
right.
Let's go ahead and move on. Before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, you can call us up at 760-454-1107. I'm going to have to go ahead and throw on one more person with us, and that's Bruce. Bruce, what's up, man?
Yo. Calling in to talk about everything in wrestling yesterday.
Bruce is on early. What the fuck?
Yeah, what? Bruce is on early.
Yep. I'm heated about everything that's been going on in the news on Sunday.
I mean, did you watch tonight, though?
I watched tonight, yep.
We'll get into that in a bit. All right, we got Russo versus Jack Swagger. I'm fucking happy. Some people might not. Russo got the dub. Flag match. I still didn't understand the rules at first. I thought, a flag was going to be hanging, or a flag was going to be on pose. It really didn't make sense. Why was it a flag match? Why did you just make it like a regular match? I didn't understand the whole concept about it. But I actually didn't watch the match because I was on break. So if you guys want to go ahead and talk about that one.
All right, because I was there. I thought it would be a match where they're going to have two poles and there'll be flags hanging. I thought they had to climb up the turnbuckles and grab the flag. I thought that was expected to see, but they just put the flags on, outside the ring, and it was like an actual match. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? So what? You have to leave the ring and grab the flag. That's how you win. It was just confusion, and it's kind of sucks that WWE never addressed it in the beginning. Like, why not address how the rules of this match is going to be? All of us are expecting a freaking, a pole, and whoever grabs their flag wins the match. But no, it wasn't much in an actual match. And the winner gets you freaking play the national anthem. So, it was a little confusing. And yeah, I did pick Swagger to win. It seems like Swagger was going to win, especially when he brought in those military dudes. And it just seems like just had that feel like Swagger's going to win this match, and fortunately he didn't. And same time, it's kind of good that Rusev won this match because it just seems like a thing where a heelish way you can say, well, fuck you, Who could
you got to
stop
think
me
about
now?
the future of the fucking roster, too. Because, I mean, if you want to be honest, Swagger's been around WWE for a while, so he's basically a WWE vet now. So he's helping me put guys over like Rusev, who's still new to the roster, and this is actually his first real feud. So
yeah.
Yeah, I thought this, I was confused too, like everybody else, about the flag match because, a week before WWE.com put the rules and stipulations for the flag match on the website, and then, a couple of days later they just took it off, and it was just a little weird. But the match in general, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was better than their match that they had at Battleground. I liked the finish that they did with Swagger just kind of passing out. He didn't really give up. It keeps Swagger as looking strong while making Rusev look still like the monster that he's being built up as. So I thought the match was fine. Didn't have really a big problem with it.
Yeah, definitely. Matt, did you want to chime in, or either Bruce?
I'll be completely honest. I didn't see too much of the Rusev stuff from last night, so I can't say too much about it.
Yeah, I will say also, Rusev, his selling last night of his ankle, because Jack Swagger, before the match officially started, tried doing the ankle lock on him, and that kind of messed up Rusev's ankle. He was selling that thing 100% completely. He was great selling it. He tried to do the accolade one time, and he had to bend down to get that fully in, and he couldn't do it because his ankle was in so much pain. But Rusev that's just one thing that's impressing me more and more about Rusev is his selling. I wasn't a fan of him. We've talked about this before. I wasn't a fan of him when he was in NXT or even when he debuted on the main roster. But I'm becoming more of a fan of his as the weeks go on and we get to see kind of more of what he can do.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the next thing for Rusev is for him to take that U.S. title off of Sheamus if you really want to put some heat on him.
I can see that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he should go after the U.S. title because it seems like they want this guy to get more heat much as they can. And what else is the best way to get more heat? Make him walk on the U.S. title,
Pretty much. It would mean more giving him the U.S. title than it would giving him the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. Definitely. The next match was actually probably the match of the night at the pay-per-view, in my opinion. Of course, it has to be two of the best wrestlers on the roster right now, and that was Mr. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in a lumberjack match, probably the weirdest lumberjack match I have ever seen. The match was so crazy. They got inside the crowd, and yes, Mr. Chad Cabrera was on TV also. If you look back at the match real clear, in the stands, you see Seth Rollins and you see Dean Ambrose dropping blows back and forth, and you see a Santino Bros t-shirt, and that is Chad Cabrera. He was on the show a while back. Go on YouTube, check it out. Hell of a match, guys. Let me go ahead and get you guys' thoughts here. What do you think about the match, Matt?
I'll be completely honest. Another match I didn't see too much of.
Damn. I know you saw tonight's match, which we'll get into later. But go ahead, Oscar.
Okay, when is that match live? It was great. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think it was the match of the night myself. You were going all over the place. I actually thought that they might even come in down my section, but they were in the opposite section. And I actually thought that we were going to see Seth Rollins jumping off, doing some crazy shit like he used to do when he was a member of the Shield. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But it was great to see. And not only that, the Lumberjacks got involved as well. And Dean Ambrose was even, throwing Kofi Kingston out to the crowd or back to the ringside area, attacking other Lumberjacks. And, other Lumberjacks trying to stop Seth Rollins from leaving. And
what's crazy about it, Oscar? Both of them were beating the shit out of the Lumberjacks. Like I even seen Dean Ambrose beat the shit out of Fake Cara, if you know what I mean. Sin Cara, Fake Cara.
Yeah. And then they grabbed before, remember when Seth was trying to like escape, all the freaking lumberjack grabbed him like they're like the body surfing him. So that was great to see. And you got Dean Ambrose on the fucking top rope jumping and landing all these fucking lumberjacks. I was like, God damn, it's official. This is the best lumberjack match I ever seen. So screw you, other lumberjack matches. If you guys disagree, you can call us up at 760-454-1107 or tweet us at WrestlingHeads. I mean, I swear to God, that was the best lumberjack match I've ever seen.
I will throw one thing in. That suplex spot that was done was absolutely phenomenal. I did catch that. Amazing.
Yes. I forgot to mention about that suplex. I mean, there was so much flying around. I'm like, shit. I mean, you can't really. It's hard to freaking mention everything. It was great to watch, and it was great to watch it in person. I don't know how to say. I can't really see how you guys experiment in the network, but watching it live was freaking cool.
Well, so what do you think, Tom?
Easily thought this was the match of the night. I was a little worried about this match when we found out the stipulation was going to be a lumberjack match. I was kind of like scratching my head and thinking, well, what are they going to do with this? And because lumberjack matches are known to kind of just be plain old matches and nothing really exciting happens. But this match definitely is what Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are capable of on a pay-per-view. What we got at Battleground was just a little teaser, but this kind of made up for it, I believe. They finally used the lumberjacks to their full potential. You saw them getting involved. You saw Dean Ambrose taking out the lumberjacks. You saw them going back and forth. And, we saw Dean Ambrose then hit the curb stomp onto Seth Rollins. And, of course, Kane interfered, and Seth Rollins ended up picking up the victory.
Let me tell you something about the victory. What pissed me off? Because from my angle, from where I was working, it looked like the ref saw the whole thing. Like when fucking Rollins hit Ambrose with the fucking briefcase. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you gonna call the match, or are you gonna, It's like he said, fuck it. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Like he got paranoid or something. Like, but it was still a good match, But tonight, which we'll talk about as soon as we finish with the whole SummerSlam recap, that match was amazing. Bruce, did you want to chime in on the match?
No, but what I was going to say is it could be just me, but I find it getting kind of annoying that the match itself was great. The only thing I'm getting sick of is seeing Kane do interference all the damn time. No one in the back, no one does anything while Kane consistently sticks his nose in. I guess that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to dislike Kane because he's the powerhouse that does nothing but interfere.
Okay.
And it's just like getting tired. Do something different besides costing a match. Just do something different. I literally don't care what it is. I'm just sick and tired of the same old shit. Give me something different. That's it.
I get you. Next match, Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. Oh, my God. I didn't feel this match whatsoever. I didn't see that these guys delivered. I love both guys, but they did not deliver. I was expecting something else, but I can say one thing. I am happy when Chris Jericho's music hit, the countdown returned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just feel like he started a new, fresh entrance with the countdown return, and he came out with a new, nice jacket, by the way, with more colors. And I was like, someone yelled out, "I want that jacket!" And then for some reason, I wanted to respond and say, "Go get it in Disneyland." But yeah, it's just every time I look at those jackets, it reminds me either Michael Jackson or some kind of Disney product jacket. I just don't know why. I think Disney or Michael Jackson. But anyways. Back to the match. It wasn't like the best match. Those two, like, they had better matches than that. I remember the NXT match and remember the Battleground match. The Battleground match was pretty good. This one was not great. But there's one thing I want to say outside the match though. When Bray Wyatt's entrance, with all those fucking lights coming out, it was like, what the fuck? I felt like I was in heaven or something. Witnessing those lights in person is freaking amazing. No lie. It's just like something that if you're in a swamp by yourself with no people around, I feel like this is how it is. There's nobody around. You see lights. You see like maybe animal eyes or something. That's how it is. So
it's funny that you mentioned about the entrance because I think me and Matt were talking about the experience of being there live when the Wyatts come down. People really are following the buzzards, and like it's getting bigger and bigger with the lights, turn it on. And plus they were actually doing the remember how the NXT when the Wyatts would come out and they had like the little wave,
Yeah, waving in their hands, yeah.
Yeah. They were doing that too at SummerSlam. Kudos to the fucking crowd. Kudos to the fucking crowd. The crowd showed up.
Yeah, it was amazing. I remember a few months ago they were here for Raw. They started. They didn't start it, but basically they were doing those claps at first. But now you have the cell phone things going on. They're just doing the waves. It's pretty cool. It's like when Bray Wyatt comes out, it's like there's something that the crowd wants to get involved. And that music, it just fits. It fits them. And that's why the crowd they want to get involved with his entrance.
Yeah. But back to the match. Tom, were you feeling the match?
Not really. It was kind of slow at points. There's a lot of rest holds. There's a lot of portions of the match where it felt like it was taking forever to get to the ending of the match. Towards the end, though, they did start picking it up a little bit, and Wyatt hit the Sister Abigail on the outside into the barricade and then did it in the ring. So shades of what we saw from the Royal Rumble earlier this year happening at SummerSlam. So that was good to see, and having Wyatt pick up the victory was good. This whole rivalry so far has been kind of hit and miss with me. It's been like they'll do a couple of good promos, but so far their in-ring action hasn't been anything really that impressive or something that I need to pay attention to. If they're going to do, which they're probably going to do, if they're going to do one more match, they need to put some type of gimmick on it, and it could be any gimmick besides a cage match, because we've seen already Wyatt in a couple of cage matches this year, and it's like you can't keep putting him in cage matches just to stop the Wyatt family from coming down or whatever. So hopefully at Night of Champions they give them a good gimmick match to do to kind of blow off the feud. And hopefully it does better than the first two matches, because I just haven't really been too impressed by them.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm definitely hoping for these guys to step up, because I remember first seeing these guys go at it when Bray was still in NXT, which people should go back and watch. They had a lot of chemistry back then, and I'm hoping to see that come back. Bruce, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, you know what? I hate to say this, but I think this one's on Jericho. Jericho admits that he doesn't train. He doesn't even work out. All he does is yoga. And I hate to say it, but I think it's starting to catch up to him, because we know Bray can go, and he's shown that this past year. And Jericho's only back for a 3-month stint to work with Bray, and then he's off on tour again. So, I mean, the first time around, I'm kind of surprised Jericho took it. Okay, and then Bray's taking this one. I see they're going to do best at 3. Obviously, they're going to give it to Bray, but it just kind of seems like they phoned it in. I mean, it could be just me, but I think they could have done a lot better. But I think maybe they're waiting to pull out all the stops on the third one, and I hope that's the case instead of it. I would hate for it to continue just like it was last night. I mean, I was not impressed knowing what those two are capable of.
Yeah, definitely understand where you're coming from. But what about you, Matt? I know we talked about the match a little earlier.
Yeah, I just thought it was very interesting with no Harper, no Rowan at ringside that they put Wyatt over clean, like straight out clean. I know that they're going to probably do another match with Jericho come Night of Champions. It was just really weird that they were full out on putting Wyatt over clean.
Yeah, you know what? I was surprised too. I mean, two guys actually lost clean in one night, which we'll get to the other person in a few minutes. But how about this match? Somebody really surprised me at SummerSlam, and she goes by the name of Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie McMahon, wow. She still got it. She got the "you still got it" chance going on. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon get those chants. That's a big deal. I would like to see Stephanie wrestle like maybe one more time. And she looked nice in her gear too, by the way.
Yep.
Nice is an understatement.
Oh, hey, them titties though.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Go ahead, Oscar. Tell me what you thought, man.
Okay, I'll be honest. At the beginning of the match, I went to take a piss, so I thought it'd be like a bathroom break piss, which probably a big mistake. Yeah, Stephanie McMahon still got it. I mean, very impressive that she hasn't wrestled in 10 years, maybe even more than that. Because the last match, if I can remember, she had a match with her own dad, Vince McMahon. I think that's the last time she ever wrestled. So, yeah, she did it. She trained really hard. I'm sure Triple H helped her out with it. So, yeah, I give her props for that. And then the whole Nikki Bella thing, you called it on Saturday skits, and it happened. So we're gonna witness a Bella feud coming out. And then when we saw Raw today, when she was trying to like see what's going on here, it just seems like they're gonna go with this whole just like Undertaker and Kane thing. Remember when Kane first came out, Taker didn't want to reply with any type of physicality. He doesn't want to do anything, you know. The Harmon's brother, letting Kane kicking his ass. That's basically what they're trying. Looks like they're about to do in this one. You know, Nikki's gonna be doing all the damage to Brie until there's probably a time that Brie will finally say enough, and we'll see a match between them two. I don't know if it will happen Night of Champions, but I could see Hell in a Cell or even Survivor Series, a freaking Nikki and Brie match.
Yeah, Nikki and Brie should be interesting. I know Brie can wrestle. Nikki's garbage. If you want to really compare the fucking twins, but back to the whole Stephanie McMahon, Brie Bella match. I'm pretty sure all of us can agree and say that it was a decent women's match.
I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully it'll put some more emphasis on the women's division. And usually Fit Finley gets involved with those matches that have to do with women. So more power to him. I was surprised that it came off as well as it did. And as
I
well
think we want to give Miss Sarah Del Rey some props in that. I don't think. I mean, not saying Fit Finley's not the person to also give props to, but don't forget about the
right. Like Sarah's going to handle like how they move and handle in the ring. And then Fit's going to handle kind of like the booking and the structure of the match and the psychology. So props to both in the back and the two, and I hope this leads to like a stronger women's division besides just AJ. And hopefully it'll push, or maybe even both of the Bellas into like legitimate contenders, considering Sarah's...
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. I'd rather have something different than have the same old shit shoved down my throat. And if that means having Sarah Del Rey train and Daniel Bryan train both the Bellas until their fucking arms fall off, hey, well then you know what? As long as it's someone who can actually wrestle, that's all I want. They're not going to be putting this much time into them without giving them extra training. I just hope it leads somewhere. I just hope it means something, and I just hope they don't half-ass it in the ring like they have for the majority of their career. I just
want to say according to the queen of Canadian wrestling, Miss Natalia says she's the one that taught the Bellas how to wrestle. So I don't know. But I just want to throw this out there. It's looking like instead of having just one Divas match on Raw and shit, or one Divas storyline, they're having two. Don't forget Summer Rae and Layla had their shit. But they need to get rid of bras like Rosamund Mendez, Cameron, Alicia Fox. She's like, okay, I can deal with her, but that's why we have chicks like Emma, Paige, Natalya, and who else am I missing?
See, the fact that you have to ask just
I know I'm
shows
missing more people,
how
guys.
shoddy of, just the fact that you're asking shows how shoddy of a job they're doing. Period.
Okay, now I'm on silence.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah. Well, you just said, I agree with some of what you say. Like, Rosa Madness needs to go, but fortunately they're keeping her because of Total Divas. I don't know. And then they're saying bringing Charlotte in. Is it a good idea to bring Charlotte now? I don't know if this is a good time, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm sort of kind of okay with what they're doing with the Divas, but see what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's continue here. Another match that I wasn't so, really into is Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. I think I don't know where I was when this happened. I think I told this girl she could work my aisle, and I worked the fucking door. So, go ahead. Somebody take over that one.
Well, which match are you talking about?
Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton.
All right.
I'm sorry, but Randy Orton carried Roman Reigns throughout this whole match. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns is just way too weak in one-on-one matches. And you know what? It showed in this match how much Randy Orton needed to do to keep Roman Reigns from looking good. Roman Reigns barely got any moves out, barely any offensive. It was all strikes, not even any slams until we got close to the end of the match. Randy Orton, people give him a lot of crap for being, boring, the same thing, not having much of a character. Guy is still one of the best in-ring workers in the WWE today. He knows how to call a match. He knows how to work the crowd better than anybody else. And I think it just showed in this match. This match was pretty boring at first. It did pick up toward the end when, they started getting toward the ending sequence, and then when Randy Orton hit the RKO from Roman Reigns' Superman punch. I know the crowd popped big for that. That was a big moment. Everybody thought it was over from there. But then Roman Reigns, ends up getting the victory with the spear, which I think everybody basically predicted. It was still kind of a slow-paced match. Kind of felt like it kept the show dragging just to get to the main event.
That's exactly why I went to the door and told this girl she can work my aisle because she wanted to watch wrestling. So I'm like, fuck it. Watch the match that I don't want to watch. So, yeah. I don't know if anybody has any comments on this match because I really don't have much else to say.
You know what, Skids? I think this is the second time in the show. Remember on Saturday, people were, somebody had to sort of kind of bash Roman Reigns. Remember on Saturday that one dude was bashing him, saying he's like another John Cena. He has the 5 moves of doom.
Somebody
and
said that. And it's funny that you said it because when I was talking with Matt and his friend earlier,
I was just about to say that. Yeah, we got into this conversation.
Yeah,
So hold on. No, I'm sorry. If he's gonna be our next John Cena, yes, it's funny that.
Oh, he is. Let me tell you why he is. Because there's this guy that works for the WWE. I guess he was looking for somebody in the crowd, and he was at my aisle, and we were talking. Was talking wrestling, whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, all these guys are going to TNA." Basically saying Del Rio and some other guys, which he doesn't know what else is going on, like the whole indie shit. But anyways, he told me Vince McMahon is a player or whatever or whatnot. And then he was like, they're molding Roman Reigns to be the next John Cena. So the guy who works for the WWE already told me what's up. So, yes, he is the next John Cena, people. So let's get ready. for the Samoan Cena.
You know what? It's funny that, remember, WrestleMania 21, Skits, me and you were there, and we saw the beginning of that era of John Cena and Batista, you know. So, basically, we don't have to really talk about Batista, but we just saw the era of John Cena. Then today, we didn't even post this on WrestlingHeads.com today because we don't know if this rumor is true or not, but supposedly Vince and Triple H are butting heads. Who's to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, either Roman Reigns or Brock, whatever. But it doesn't matter. It could happen, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, because I kind of see this going on with Brock Lesnar cannot be stopped until one man stops him, and that's Roman Reigns. And it's funny that me and your kids were discussing my WrestleMania 31 and about us being there, and would it be some crazy shit that Roman Reigns did beat Brock Lesnar and become WWE World Heavyweight Champion? And we're like, fuck, 10 years later, we saw something we saw 10 years ago, and we could see this going on, you know?
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, you know?
All right.
So.
The other talked about match is Rock versus Brock. And Vince McMahon is, like, obsessed with getting that match going.
Again.
You know what? I got to say this, though. If this rumor is true about Vince McMahon wanted The Rock to go against Brock Lesnar, then Vince McMahon is turning to Al Davis, Jerry Jones of the WWE. Seriously, that's retarded. Because, first of all, what they're doing with Brock Lesnar is right now. And then if they make him keep him to WrestleMania, have Roman Reigns beat him, I'm actually cool with that. But having The Rock beat Brock Lesnar...
Okay, I don't know if you've seen
Now, what if you have Brock go through Rock and just continue to be a monster?
Yes, I was thinking of doing that for Royal Rumble. That gives the appearance that Brock Lesnar has more momentum, and then you have Roman Reigns take on Brock Lesnar, basically saying that Roman Reigns is stronger or better than The Rock. And then that sets up a SummerSlam where either Roman can take on Rock because Rock feels like he can take him on, or that takes on Rock versus Brock, and Rock finally gets the win on the third match.
You know what? That's even better, Bruce. And you know what? There's one thing I read about The Rock. He says that he would love to wrestle Roman Reigns. Maybe one more match in his career will be against Roman Reigns. So that could possibly happen.
Their family, too, right?
Their family to their cousins. They can mention that if they actually did go with the Brock versus Brock at Royal Rumble. I mean, I'd rather see that in the Rumble than a WrestleMania because, like I said, if Vince really wants The Rock to go against Brock Lesnar and have The Rock beat Brock Lesnar, that's going to show, like, okay, Vince McMahon does not have confidence with his current roster he has. Because
Vince McMahon doesn't have confidence with himself, man. If you watch the Paul Heyman DVD, he talks about, remember when ECW was created? And he said, when I created ECW, WCW and WWE were outdated. They were, and I thought about the future. You guys must, that's a must watch. Like, WWE, it's not even, I don't think it's WWE, it's Vince McMahon. Because the guy who I met, he said Vince McMahon runs that show back there. It's really Vince. But the whole thing, Vince, he thinks about, he's very outdated. He doesn't think about what should be, what the wrestling fans want, what we want. He puts on what he wants, It's his show.
And you know what? I don't think there's nothing wrong with having Rock come back to fight maybe 3 matches. One at Royal Rumble, one at WrestleMania, and one more at SummerSlam, and call it a day. And he'll be good on that. He takes on Brock Lesnar. You give him a filler match for WrestleMania so he could get a payoff, and then you give him Roman Reigns or you give him Brock Lesnar, however you want to work it, at SummerSlam, probably Roman, and just call it a day. Just have it be done.
Well, it was funny, when you mentioned about Vince McMahon, something had to happen right after the Royal Rumble this past year, because remember, they wanted Batista against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, no Daniel Bryan. Look what happened. Batista got booed.
Dude. I mean, the fans, he had to fucking have Daniel Bryan go over because the fans wouldn't allow fucking Batista to go over with the boos and the Batista fucking signs. They weren't allowing that shit.
Speaking of Batista, I'm almost surprised that he didn't come back tonight.
Yeah, Matt was talking about that shit. I was like, you're crazy, bro.
You know what?
It makes sense.
You know what?
I mean,
It's funny. What's funny at SummerSlam, right after, well, a lot of people were expecting Brock to win, but they were saying like, okay, if there's some guys who were talking like, okay, what if after Cena, who's gonna go after? We ain't gonna see no 5-month Brock Lesnar John Cena feud. That ain't gonna happen. So who would it be? And someone said maybe Batista. When Batista comes
ladies
back,
and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, because we haven't got to that match. We might as well get into it now. Brock Lesnar is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He beat John Cena with how many suplexes, guys?
17? Oh, 16. There you go.
No,
that is it. I don't think John Cena did one fucking thing did like maybe some shoulder fucking, some shoulder to shoulder shit.
He did one AA, don't forget, one, which used to be called the FU to basically parody Brock Lesnar in the first place 12 years ago.
Funny part about it, when the match, you know what's funny about it, Bruce? When the match first started, fucking F5 was delivered real quick. Match could have been over in like 5 seconds. People forget about that.
I'm not. I'm just saying that was just. Everyone calls it the AA. Originally, it was the FU, but I think Brock Lesnar's more right. There would have been no Cena had Brock Lesnar stayed, and if that was the case, the FU probably wouldn't have been as popular or as known. Sorry, as known as it is now because that's his stupid ass finisher.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everybody their reaction when Brock Lesnar won the title. Tom, your reaction.
I was loving this from the moment it started, and Brock Lesnar hit that early quick F5, and we almost thought it was over. And he just kept doing German suplex after German suplex after German suplex. It wasn't the best technical matchup. No, it wasn't the best technical match of the night. But it was something that was 2 years in the making. This is the type of thing that we should have seen at Extreme Rules 2012 when Brock Lesnar first came back. In that match, he basically did manhandle John Cena, but it was typical John Cena fashion. He came back and ended up winning the matchup, and Brock Lesnar's return to the WWE after being in UFC was basically halted, a big time, I would say. But this match, it was kind of just like a big exhale. You didn't get to see the Cena comeback. When Cena did hit his AA, and then Brock Lesnar channeled the spirit of The Undertaker and sat up, and then started laughing maniacally, and basically looked at Cena like, that's not going to work this time, and just continued just to beat the shit out of him. I was loving it, and I said it earlier, this is probably the first time since WrestleMania 30 that I'm satisfied with how the main event turned out.
Hey, didn't Cena do his submission move too?
Oh yeah, he
did the STF, and he actually locked the STF on pretty good. But once again, it was nothing. Him doing the STF did nothing to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar got out of it, even though Cena held it on, he got out of it pretty easily.
Like a fucking boss. Your reaction, Bruce?
I like the fact that he went over. I like the fact that the end of Taker's streak actually meant something. I'm glad they just didn't let Cena win by being Super Cena. I hope they give him like some actual time to rest and like legitimately instead of keep asking him to come back. He's worn down. He had a bad back. He had a bad neck. I'm actually kind of surprised he took that many Germans considering he has a bad back and a bad neck. I was kind of surprised also that Brock didn't vary up his moveset. I mean, not that he needed to, but it just came off to me as a slightly boring match just because, yeah, it was brutal, but I was expecting either to see maybe a little bit of blood because I'm sick or a little bit more wrestling from Brock besides, let me give you 16 Germans. And, I mean, I guess you could have told a better story, but it is what it is. Cena can finally have some time off, refresh his character, get out of the limelight, not be a retarded-ass 15-time champion. I still think what Chris said is going to happen. By the time he retires, he's going to be a third-time champ. And Brock, I'm glad to see him get the belt. It's going to make his fights, his matches mean more, so it's going to drive up more purchases, more views, more subscribers, however you want to look at it. I don't know if they renegotiate his contracts for more views or more appearances, because if they're only going to have him show up in 2 matches between now and WrestleMania, one probably being either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, and the other one being WrestleMania, that's really bad. I mean, the same thing I said regarding The Rock winning. How do you have the champ not even show up on Monday nights? You don't even have to fight. Just show up. And now maybe Brock won't even do that. It's going to be even more part-time than I was critical of The Rock. So the fact that Vince or Hunter agreed to give it to Brock, okay, for the short term, I see that being a ratings pop. But for long term, between now and however long they plan to have it, whether it be a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, I think in my opinion, is too long. You shouldn't go that long without having. You can't have a champ show up 2, 3, 4, 5 times in 6 months. That's just, you just can't.
I mean, what I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind if he doesn't show up to every Raw. He could show up to every pay-per-view, but not every Raw. That's just me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but
I think they need to do that. They absolutely. He does not have to appear at every single Raw, and you know what? Sometimes he doesn't even have to appear at every pay-per-view, because the
I
way
think you
he's
need that title at a pay-per-view.
I'm saying he can miss one pay-per-view. He can miss Hell in the Cell if he doesn't have like a legitimate contender by then. Because who would want to face Brock Lesnar? First of all, who would want to face Brock Lesnar to begin with right now? More or less face him in a Hell in a Cell match. I don't think anybody wants to get in there with him in a Hell in a Cell match. So I could see him missing that pay-per-view, but I think for the first time ever, not forever, but the first time in a long time, the title is feeling more legitimate, because it's like these guys have to fight and scratch and claw just to get a shot, and then when you get a shot, you're probably guaranteed that you're going to get your ass whipped. So, you have to be 100% on your game, the best of your ability, and this is a guy that's not going to be, wrestling at every Raw, so he's not going to be, tired. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to be ready to fight. I think this is the perfect way. I think he can miss most Raws as long as like I said, he can miss one pay-per-view, but that's really maximum, I would say. But having him appear at every Raw, that would just do too much. Paul Heyman even said, when you have Brock Lesnar at every single Raw and then every single pay-per-view, he starts losing his appeal.
Okay, I agree by not having him at every Raw, but how do I say this? You don't want to have him show up simply one Raw after a pay-per-view, one Raw before a pay-per-view, and then half the time I could agree with it. Not even having him defend every pay-per-view also makes sense. That's how they did it way back in the day.
You got to defend at a pay-per-view. That's what pay-per-views are made for, to defend a title.
Yeah. And you know what the WWE would do to be smart? There's all these rumors about SmackDown going to Thursdays and all that. One way to drive up people to watch the SmackDown is that, all right, Brock Lesnar's not going to be on Raw, but he's going to be on SmackDown. So watch SmackDown this week.
I'm pretty sure they're thinking about that right now.
Ideally, yes, but they won't put that time and that money into making SmackDown the A show. They've already kind of given up.
I don't think they'll make it the A show, but they'll have people watch it.
Yeah, if you want to be honest with you,
Raw is not even the A show right now. The A show is actually probably on the fucking network called NXT.
Well, that's wrestling-wise.
So you're never going to have Brock Lesnar show up on NXT. You're not.
Oh, that would be great, I think.
That would be awesome.
I think we would all love it, but
I gotta say something here about this whole Brock Lesnar WWE title reign. Look, I can tell you this though, he is scheduled to appear at Night of Champions and the Raw after that. But after that, I don't know what's going on. So I'm hoping he does keep the title longer, not just a 1-month reign, because it would be nice if he got that title to WrestleMania, make him look strong. And I'm thinking they are trying to go that way because, look, he just beat the shit out of Cena. They're making him like he's an unstoppable force and no one can stop him.
Plus, they give him the brand new belt.
Yeah, the brand new belt. So while he's champion, no one can stop him. And one thing that's also scaring me is that who in the hell could go after Brock Lesnar outside of Roman Reigns and John Cena?
Cesaro.
Yeah, all right. This is the actual question I was going to ask you guys. Who would you guys like to see be the first wrestler challenge Mr. Brock Lesnar?
Cesaro.
All right.
Who would I
Cesaro
like to
Matt?
see? I'd like to see The Rock get fed to Brock Lesnar.
For what?
I want to see The Rock get destroyed just like John Cena.
Why?
Because of the fact that he didn't deserve a title. All he did was have a movie come out, and for some reason he was made number one contender last year.
Why are we wasting our time on The Rock, who's not an everyday player?
I guess I just want to see him get his ass whooped after he won the belt. He didn't deserve it, and I just want to see him get his ass beat. That's all.
And that's a waste of
You know who I would like to see Brock Lesnar face in the next coming months? Randy Orton. Even though Randy Orton's a big-time heel, one of the biggest heels in the WWE right now, I think it could be Randy Orton being cocky and saying, you know, I beat John Cena, but I can take Brock Lesnar, no problem. And then Randy Orton goes in there and he gets demolished by Brock Lesnar and just keeps building him up. So I think that could be a good format.
I don't know why, Tom, but I have a feeling that the WWE is going to fucking put a big 360 on us, and we're not going to see this coming, but if Cesaro's not the guy, see Daniel Bryan coming out challenging for some reason.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but it's, you know, with Daniel Bryan's neck surgery, you don't know when he is exactly going to step. You know, you don't know if he's going to be back by the Rumble.
Seeing him this past week, I know looks can be deceiving, but the guy looked great, healthy to me, and you know, he was walking around.
You can't go by that, because if he was great and healthy, he'd be back in the ring by now. Obviously, he's got a lot of strength problems, and, you know, he's not going to be back until at least minimum the Royal Rumble.
Let's just hope Cesaro's the man. Cesaro finally got a win today, which we'll get into some Raw talk real quick. Cesaro got a win today. He went against Jack Swagger. Not the best match those two put on. But what really pissed me off at Raw today, Big Show and Mark Henry open up Raw against the Wyatt family, and they win. What the fuck? What the fuck are you guys doing, y'all? I don't understand this shit. What is Big Show and Mark Henry's game?
Jim Cornette face, fuck this company.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they won, but then later on you had Mark Henry going against Rusev. It looks like they're going to go at it now, which makes sense because, you know, Mark Henry represented the United States at the Olympics. So that makes sense to have him going against Rusev. But that went in between Big Show and Mark Henry. I don't understand it why, but I don't know. I
don't get it either.
I didn't get it either, but it does get Mark Henry and Big Show as a tag team broken up quickly. Thank you, whoever's thinking about that in the back. One thing, another WWE they also built today is another feud. After Swagger lost to Cesaro, you have Bo Dallas come out to basically tell him to leave, and maybe next time he can win for his country. You know, of him losing the match against Rusev. So it looks like we got Bo Dallas back in the scene, probably getting his first actual real feud.
Just Bo leave.
Just Bo leave. You know, but one of the things that's really starting to piss me off about WWE booking is their booking of the Wyatt family. You know, I can maybe understand what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. They're kind of they've been teetering with him. You know, he's lost to Cena, and then he beat Cena, and then he lost to Cena, and then he lost to Jericho, and then he beat Jericho, and all this stuff. But at least at the same time, you could have built up the Wyatt family to being this dangerous, you know, maniacal group And they didn't even, they've lost 3 straight matches to the Usos. They haven't been doing anything. If they're not going to do anything with these guys, break up the Wyatt family and let Luke Harper go out on his own. Because Luke Harper is one of the best workers right now in the WWE. Guy can do everything. Guy can talk. Guy is one of the best in the ring, one of the most solid guys in the ring. He makes his opponents look good. If they're not going to do anything, let Luke Harper go out on his own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know with Luke and Harper. I just feel like they don't want to use them. Maybe they didn't want to make it look so predictable at the time when they played with the Usos. Like, okay, they're gonna win the tag straps. No, Usos are still your tag champs.
Have you guys? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the Wyatts have not all been together as one team lately. Like, you haven't seen Luke Harper and Eric Rowan hanging around Bray, or them hanging around Bray. When usually. I know it was a stipulation, Jericho beats them, beats Eric and Luke, that they couldn't come down together as a team. But it looks like they're trying to separate, Luke and Eric with Eric away from Bray, which is probably a good thing, so they can be their own stars. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll see what happens with those two. I think them as tag champs is coming soon. It's definitely due. But yeah, what else happened on Raw tonight?
Well, let me give my 2 cents. Let me get in there real quick. If you're gonna have Big Show and Mark Henry, who it's just kind of a slap together tag team. Well, you're putting them together as a tag team. They've done 2 weeks of SmackDown shows where they were together as a tag team. Now you have them on Raw. Now you have them on Raw.
By Mark Henry coming down to challenge Rusev. It looks like they just scratched that out of the way.
Well, if it's going to lead to a Mark push, if it leads to a Mark Henry push, that makes sense. But why on earth would you have Big Show and Mark Henry go over established tag teams if you're not going to push them as a tag team?
Who knows?
That makes no sense. Why are you going to sacrifice your tag team division? So if this doesn't lead to Mark Henry and Big Show getting tag titles, I don't give a fuck. Exactly. It's a wrong decision. If it somehow doesn't lead to the Wyatts coming back and maybe interfering against Mark Henry and Rusev, and if it doesn't lead to the Wyatts getting the belts somehow, I don't care for it. And we really shouldn't be. I guess I would be saying shit. I'm like, how is that smart booking? How is that smart business in any way to destroy your tag team simply because you have a super team of 2 guys that are just big because you don't know what else to do with them? So you're like, okay, fuck, let's put them together in a tag team. Okay, well, now you're going to destroy your legitimate tag team division in the process. I hope it just doesn't continue that way, especially everything that the Usos and the other established tag teams have been building up, simply because creative doesn't know what else to do.
Creative is garbage.
Yeah, especially with the tag team decision that they made, definitely.
All right.
Speaking of tag teams.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I want to go talk about this Usos against Stardust and Goldust match, which, end up Goldust and Stardust end up winning the match. Then when I saw that, I saw some tweets going on, or during this match, I saw some tweets like, oh shit, the extension's debuting tonight. Oh shit, I didn't want to say anything until I actually see the extension comes out, but it didn't happen. But now I see.
I'm gonna say it again. Another week. I'm sick of hearing that tag team out here. There ain't
I'm gonna
any
say
time
right now. They're debuting after Night of Champions. It's gonna happen. This is leading to it. I see it happening.
How much you want to bet?
Look at it. Huh?
How much you want to bet?
Do you even have money to bet? You don't have money to go
we don't have to bet money.
Hold up. Oscar, Skip, you're both wrong. They might be working the Usos with Stardust right now, but this is all leading up to the rise of Slater Gator, baby. Slater Gator, they're going to come in.
Oh, my God.
They're going to win the tag team titles. Heath Slater's still on a winning streak. It's going to happen. Slater Gator.
If they don't put you in their current video game, they're not even planning on pushing you in the next year.
I mean, but that has nothing to do with
I mean, but look at CM Punk's in the next game, and they want to forget he ever existed. So,
Hey,
all right.
hey, hold on. I don't want to count Heath Slater out of the video game. He still could be a DLC packet.
Oh my God.
We got this next match that I'm going to mention actually was a decent match. You had Rob Van Dam team up with Roman Reigns against Ryback, Curtis Axel, and Randy Orton. Wow, Ryback was over.
Proper Ryback. Yeah. You know, I've been noticing that, you know, not only the Las Vegas crowd, but there was a lot of, like, feed me more chants coming back. I'm like, what's going on here, you know? Does the crowd want Ryback to come back and feel Ryback when he first came out? Feed
that
me
was
more.
his hometown, so that's the only reason.
I know what I'm saying, but before that, they were chanting feed me more once again, but the hometown did, like, you know, had some Ryback chant going, feed me more chants, all that shit. So
Ryback rules.
Yeah, Ryback rules, the fuck. You know. So,
And it was
highlight of Raw for me.
basically louder pop. What did you say?
You know what's funny? During that match, I was tweeting with Smartcast. He actually wanted to see Ryback face turn, but he doesn't want him back in the ring. He wants him to commentating. He thinks it'll be funny. It'll be hilarious.
Oh, that would be
he
fantastic.
Ryback is hilarious. Ryback has a lot more charisma than people are probably going to give him credit for. And I think it's apparent ever since he, you know, started teaming with Curtis Axel. We haven't seen a whole bunch of it, but we've seen kind of glimpses and little blips of what he can do on the mic and how funny he could be. And I think Ryback is a great dynamic. You know, I actually kind of enjoy seeing that team whenever they're on TV. I feel like Curtis Axel, it's a good spot for him. But like I said, WWE just treats the tag division like shit, so we don't get to see what their true potential could possibly be.
On a side note, does anybody remember when Ryback used to walk around the ring typing?
What?
Yeah.
He just walked around the ring every match during an episode of Main Event.
Yeah, he would be like tweeting live on his phone.
Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
Was that when he came out like 3 or 4 times every Main Event and he would just be trolling everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious. That was funny when he was actually playing as like the crazy guy.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yep.
Real quick, gentlemen, let's take a quick break. And we can go ahead and finish talking about Raw, maybe some Smash Wrestling real quick, and maybe some Ring of Honor news, too. Be right back.
Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Psycho Shooter Drake Younger from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and you are tuning in to Wrestling Heads Radio, baby.
Four Corners Radio is the home for the best professional wrestling and independent wrestling, discussions and coverage. Billy, Ant, Martin, and Sam bring you 3 of the best podcasts every week. The Four Corners Raw Roundtable, the Indie Project, and the Saturday Freestyle. Along with the podcast, FourCornersWrestling.com is designed with all wrestling fans in mind. Feature articles, videos, the weekly shows, and much more. Four Corners and Wrestling Heads are teaming up to bring you wrestling's next revolution. Are you ready? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Heads Radio.
Man, you know what? It was just funny that you play that Drake Younger soundbite. Just imagine we saw him over the weekend, you know, and then he runs out, so he's like, Wrestling Heads, you know. I fucking miss that shit, dude.
Yeah, shout out to fucking Drake Younger, one of the fucking nicest dudes I've ever met, probably. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish into Raw. We also had a Falls Count Anywhere match. Definitely match of the night. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. What can I say? This should have been the pay-per-view match, stipulation match.
Yep.
Like, where do I start? Like, these dudes were going ham. I felt like I was watching a fucking independent match. You know what I mean? And I was watching WWE. Like, all the spots that these guys had was.
You're watching Tyler Black versus John Moxley.
Two fucking amazing dudes. I was telling, like, Matt, like, this is a fucking indie match right here. This ain't no WWE match.
Oh, man, what a match that was. I know we were talking about it the entire Raw. I mean, phenomenal match. Like you guys were saying, should have been the match on the pay-per-view. Just absolutely incredible. And the stuff that went on after the match as well was just awesome as well.
Yeah, and if that match happened last night at pay-per-view, I guess you would have saw me more yesterday because, they went all over the freaking place. I was hoping yesterday, but it happened. You probably would have saw me probably yelling at those guys, fuck them up or something, you know?
They also had a stupid lumberjack match.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I get. That's what LA gets. We get a lumberjack match. Vegas get a fucking false count everywhere.
And for them to finish off the match, when they used the bricks on Dean Ambrose when Seth did his finisher on Dean on the bricks, and they basically called the match. And that's basically a write-off for Dean Ambrose to go ahead and make his movie. I'm not sure what the movie is about, but he's definitely making a movie. And I guarantee you when Dean Ambrose comes back, this storyline continues.
You know what? You know what's funny what Tom mentioned about, like, Brock Lesnar does not have to show up in Hell in a Cell? Why not end this feud in a Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose?
I think somebody literally wrote on Twitter that's what this has to be building up to. This is why it's continuing on, because I think everybody thought it was going to be over at SummerSlam.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to be over at SummerSlam. I actually thought a few months back it would be over at SummerSlam because I thought that Battleground, they're going to have a match, but it didn't happen. So I was like thinking, all right, they're going to have a match at SummerSlam and it's going to continue on afterwards. So.
Yeah. And Hell in a Cell is the perfect way to end it because, the past few years at Hell in a Cell, they just kind of thrown together people into the Hell in a Cell match. And, that match, when it was made in 97, it was made to end feuds. It was made to end rivalries. It was made to be the culmination of however long, two people were feuding for. That's what you remember from the Attitude Era. First it started out with, of course, Taker and Shawn Michaels. Then it went with Taker and Mick Foley, and then Mick Foley and Triple H. Just a couple examples, but
the list goes on.
I think it has to end at Hell in a Cell. I think they need to. I don't know if they're going to go past Night of Champions and skip that, or what they're going to do. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what they're going to keep doing with this feud.
Yeah, man. I remember talking about it with. We talked about it with Chris, like a while back. Like these guys, like they're gonna make it very personal. You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing. They make it very personal. Like these guys, pretty sure these guys want to be the best at what they do. So I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. Two of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE. But yeah, definitely glad to see these dudes put on good matches for us. But yeah, hell of a fucking night for Raw. Seth Rollins, good shit.
Yeah, I wanted to get your guys' opinion actually. Tonight, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came out, and once again, Paul Heyman cut hell of a promo, as he always does.
Best manager in the world.
And we got the debut of the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which was presented to Brock Lesnar by Triple H and Stephanie. What did you guys think of the title?
You know what? When I saw that in the picture, Chris sent me like a few weeks ago, I was like, man, it looks garbage. But looking at it right now, not that bad. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe they should have changed the look of the title because it's called the WWE World Heavyweight Title. So I was thinking like change it a little bit, make that new logo a little bit smaller, and do something else. Or like put a like a earth or something. I don't know, but
yeah, that's what I don't like really. That the new title is that the centerpiece is just the new WWE logo, and then nothing behind it. There's no gold-plated piece behind there. There's no nameplate. There's nothing that really
on the side.
They
have their little emblem though.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that, but it was just like because when you look at a title, the first thing that draws your eye is that centerpiece. And, I can understand them kind of putting their logo that big in the center. I can understand it from their logic. It's like it's their title. You're going to see that logo, and when you see that logo, it's the WWE title. But I felt like, like you said, they should have made it smaller. But, it's not too bad. I will say, though, I like this better than when they debuted the spinner belt. I hated that.
Yeah, and I just thought that spinner belt at first was going to be a gimmick belt, like how Austin's Smoking Skull belt was. I thought that would be John Cena's, gimmick belt. But it was dumb when guys like Edge, Randy Orton, CM Punk were carrying it. It was so dumb. So.
It's called the Cena belt. Cena fucking is reason there. Fucking belt.
So, does that mean we're pretty much done with the Cena era? Considering if you think about it, technically, this is the second belt since the spinner belt.
Yeah, this is the new belt. It's a whole new era right here.
Yeah, it's a new era.
Technically, you would qualify this as a new era then.
You can say that, but the whole Cena thing, I don't want to say it's the end yet, but I could see him getting the title shot one more time, then he lose again, and then he'll be out of the picture. So it's going to be a while. You know what? It's going to be interesting what he'll do for WrestleMania. Like, who he's going to go against at WrestleMania? People don't say Hulk Hogan, because I don't want to see a Hulk Hogan versus John Cena match. I'm sorry.
Shit. We're only in fucking August. We're only in August.
Yeah.
We got a lot of time to figure out what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
But Tom's going to get his wish in 1 month. After 1 month, John Cena will be out of the WWE title picture. So, Tom, you get your wish.
Real quickly, let's take one more break, and I think Matt can tell us about what they're calling Smash Wrestling in Canada nowadays. We'll be right back.
This is the Juice JT Dunn, and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
Since January of 2013, the Indie Power Rankings have been ranking the very best independent wrestlers on a weekly basis with voters all across the U.S. and Canada. They do the part to support indie wrestling. Give them a follow at Indie Ranking as they release the new Indie Power Rankings every Tuesday.
Yo, welcome to WH Radio. Today's show is brought to you by the good people down at WrestlingRambles.com. For the latest in wrestling news, in-depth blog, and hot topic discussion, hit up WrestlingRambles.com. Remember, it's not just any ramble, but a Wrestling Rambles. WrestlingRambles.com. And also special thanks to Ring Rust Radio and FLTDWrestling.com. Thank you for listening.
All right. Shout out to other folks up there. Also, shout out to the Weekly Wrestling Podcast. Shout out to Matt and his squad.
Thank you, my dude.
Yeah, so tell the guys here what they've been calling Smash Wrestling lately.
Oh, man. Yeah, first, before I get into that, I just wanted to give a little shout-out to a couple of guys. Josh Alexander, Ethan Page. Those guys have just been doing wonders for WWP. They've been a big support of WWP, Monster Mafia. We love those guys, so I definitely wanted to give those guys a shout-out before I get into that. But talking about Smash Wrestling, last night we had a triple main event at Smash Wrestling. The Young Bucks took on the Super Smash Brothers. We had Brent Banks taking on Rich Swann, who was filling in for Jay Lethal, unfortunately, who missed the show due to border issues. And we had the main event of Chris Hero challenging the undefeated Matt Cross for the Smash Wrestling Championship. A phenomenal card from Smash Wrestling. You also had matches on that card such as the Kimber Bombs, which is Kimberly and Cherry Bomb. They teamed up to take on Vanessa Craven and Lou Fisto. Man, it was just a phenomenal show from Smash Wrestling. Those guys, I can't say enough good things about those guys. They 100%. Even Matt Jackson said it on Twitter today, and I'm going to reiterate it here right on the air. Smash Wrestling, Canada's PWG, 100%.
Yeah, that's definitely like a big deal. I mean, me as a PWG regular, you know, like PWG, every fucking PWG show is fucking great, and I'm pretty sure these guys can agree with me when I say PWG shows are like, I've never been to one bad PWG show, so I can definitely, you know, see what he's talking about. But I'm hoping one day we get a chance to hit up Canada and check out some Smash Wrestling.
That would be great, guys. I would love to have you guys up here, and if it happens, we got a couple commentary spots open.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll be down. I'll be down to go to Canada and check out some Smash Wrestling. Look at the talent you name. Freaking Chris Hero, Matt Cross, Lou Festo, which I've seen a couple of times. And I like to see the Kimber Bombs. I've never seen them before, but I like to check them out, you know. And, you know, that had to be a great card. And I miss Super Smash Brothers. You know, they don't come down to PWG anymore, so
they actually addressed that a little bit in a pre-show interview I had with them. They said they're working on those issues and hoping to be back at PWG and in the States very soon. So hopefully that works out for you guys.
It'll be so funny. This is going to be a funny match. If they end up coming back and going against Candice and Joey, I think that would be something to watch. I mean, if you guys want to laugh your ass off, I think that's the match you guys want to see. But we'll see what happens if they actually come back to PWG. And I heard a little rumor, Matt, that you're planning to come down to Reseda.
I'm hoping DDT4 will be the time that I get that chance, but we're planning on it. We're planning on it. The big trip right now is FWE, October 3rd and 4th. We're making our U.S. debut and doing some commentary at FWE, too. If you guys know how big those shows are, that's a pretty big deal for us. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll hope you come down from PWG and... yeah, it would be great to have you on. I mean, have you out here. We'll welcome you in California. Same with you, Tom. We'll welcome you over here. So,
appreciate it, guys.
I want to head out to Cali. Maybe towards the winter when it starts getting cold over here in New York. I'll head out to the warm West Coast.
Yeah, probably when it gets cold. I mean, you might get your summer gear on because I'm sure 50 degrees like summer for you, and it's not for us. Yeah, you see, he's been laughing, so.
Yep. Couldn't agree more on that one. I just wanted to throw out a couple more things, guys. I don't want to be the Michael Cole here and throw out plugs, but I just wanted to throw out a quick thing. I threw up a couple video interviews, like I said, with the Super Smash Brothers and Greg Iron on YouTube just about an hour ago. If you guys want to check that out, those were pretty cool. And like I said, a guy to keep an eye for, definitely Brent Banks. That's pretty much all I got for you guys.
Yeah, and something I have to mention about the Monster Mafia. I just can't wait. In 1 month, I'm actually going to see them wrestle in person at IWL against the Young Bucks.
I'm in the box today. That 2 out of 3 fall steel cage match. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Skits, after your day off, we got to go to IWL.
Fuck. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about doing? I think I work today, but I'm going to actually leave early. So, yeah, sorry, Dodgers, but I'll be leaving early. I'm going to watch some professional wrestling. I cannot miss Monster Mafia. The last time I missed them. So.
Those dudes are the future of tag team wrestling, man.
Hey, we might as well go ahead and make the announcement now, Matt. Next Thursday.
Let's do it.
Next Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, on the Weekly Wrestling Podcast, we'll get together with Wrestling Heads as we preview
the
PWG
biggest biggest tournament of the year, if not in years. Battle of Los Angeles. I'm super excited for the show, man.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe
WH
I can line
Radio
up
and
some
WWP together.
Maybe line up some guests. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to it. Should be a
great one.
Yeah. And tomorrow, you got the Indy Power Rankings, right?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to throw something out. You might want to update that soundbite you got there because it's at Indy Power Ranking, actually, not at Indy Ranking. But just throwing that out there. Tomorrow we got Joseph Schwartz and Thunder Kitty on the show, if you guys are familiar with them. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, man. Definitely, dude. Definitely, you guys taking care of business down there in Canada, and we're out here in SoCal doing it. Just like I told you, keep an eye on the guys at Santino Bros. You got a lot of talent out there coming out, like Eli Everfly, Shaq Cabrera. Who else we got out there? Oscar.
You see, Shaq Cabrera, Eli Everfly, or you know what? You could always go on Ustream to check out the shows. There's actually a show this Friday. So if you guys ain't doing nothing Friday night, go on Ustream, and it's free too. You know, if you guys like to watch New Japan on Ustream, why not check out Free Wrestling Santino Bros? Yeah, you guys gotta check it out. And
you can't forget Los Bandinos. Los Bandinos, probably one of the biggest SoCal tag teams out here. People want to look out for them. They just had a match with the Bucks. If you're booked with a match against the Bucks, that means you're coming up in this business, and people might want to start looking out for you because people just don't have a match with the Bucks just to have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I think this show this weekend, I think Peter Avalon's even on there, so you guys want to check it out, just go for it. It's free.
Famous B.
So Famous B. Yeah, you guys gotta check it out. And check out this other guy that they've been a lot of people have been talking about, Tyler Bateman. You know, he's been impressing me a lot. I'm sure you too, Skip. He's been impressing you a lot, and you know, some of the guys have been bringing in like B-Boy and them. They've been praising him in our show. So I know you've been a little kind of high on Tyler Bateman as of late. Yeah, he's your new Santino submission champion. So I think he deserved that title. So yeah,
somebody give my boy Eli some gold. Shout out to Eli Everfly. But yeah, this thing, you know, you might want to look out for some of these SoCal guys, Matt. So I'll look out for the Canada guys, and you look out for the SoCal guys.
You got it, bro.
But let's go ahead. I have some news to let everybody know. Ring of Honor has issued the official press release today that Final Battle 2014 is back in New York City. Tom is a happy man. Are you going to Final Battle?
Yes. I don't care what the hell happens if there's a snowstorm, if aliens are attacking New York City. I'm going to bring the aliens to Final Battle. Final Battle is always one of Ring of Honor's biggest pay-per-view, if not their biggest pay-per-view of the year. Always a hot crowd in the Hammerstein Ballroom, as we saw earlier this year for our War of the Worlds. And you always get good quality matches on there. I can't really think of any Final Battles that have been bad. Final Battle 2013 last year was kind of okay. It wasn't up to what it could be, but with the year that Ring of Honor has been having, I don't expect them to be having another okay show. I think they're going to once again knock it out of the ballpark. And I'm going to be excited to go down, even though, you know, there's no more Kevin Steen. You know, like I said, he was one of my favorites there. But even him not being there won't stop me from going and seeing some Ring of Honor.
Because you got guys like, you know, Red Dragon. They're already advertised. Michael Elgin, of course, Adam Cole, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, or Frankie Kazarian, the Briscoes, and Maria are all the only ones that are advertised.
Yeah, so,
definitely.
you know, it's, you know, Sunday, December 7th, so they have plenty of time to announce more matches and more names. So
didn't they announce that it's going to be a different venue?
Yeah, it's going to be at actually Terminal 5 is where I'm reading it's going to be, and that's at West 55th Street in Manhattan. Sorry.
Okay.
So I guess it's not going to be at the Hammerstein, but like I said, I won't doubt that the crowd's going to be any different. I'm sure it's going to be the same crowd that would show up to the Hammerstein. Looking forward to it.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. Is that Terminal 5 place, is it a real big place, or are you even familiar with it?
Yeah, it actually, Terminal 5, it's, what's it called? It's hard to, it kind of has a similar feel to the Hammerstein, where it has multiple rafters and levels.
Okay.
And I believe, I'm not sure, I think it can fit more people than the Hammerstein. I believe it can fit 3,000 to 3,500 people, which is more than I think the Hammerstein maybe at max capacity can do, I think 2,500 around there. So I think they moved this to get more people in this, and it's going to be a different setting. You know, I mean, I'm sure they would love to go back, but the Manhattan Center is an expensive place to go, whether you're going to go to the Hammerstein Ballroom or the Grand Ballrooms where TNA's been taping. It's pretty expensive, so I think they just shopped around, found a place that's bigger, maybe for less money. But I'm kind of looking forward to see what they're going to do in this new building.
Yeah, man. You know, Ring of Honor is going to do their shit. I've been saying Ring of Honor is definitely, the number 2 promotion when it comes to WWE, comes to WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor. They're number 2 for sure. So. Yeah,
it should be good, and we'll probably talk maybe more about it this weekend. But Ring of Honor has Death Before Dishonor 12 going on this weekend in Chicago Ridge and Milwaukee, and we'll get more into that on Wednesday's show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll talk more about Death Before Dishonor on Wednesday's show. Another thing that Oscar wanted me to talk about real quick, so the SummerSlam movement from LA to New York City. Another place is going to be in your city, Mr. Tom.
Yeah. It's coming back, and the promo last night during SummerSlam said it's going to happen in the New York, New Jersey area. People are kind of speculating where it's going to happen. People said, the Barclays Center. People have said the Izod Center in New Jersey. There's been people mentioning it could happen at the Red Bull Arena. I'm not sure exactly where they might put it. Somebody online brought up a great point that because they didn't have access this year, because probably of budget cuts, maybe by next year they'll have some more money to spend, so they'll bring back access, and they'll either do access in New Jersey and then do the event in New York City, or vice versa.
All right,
but
Tom, I gotta say something here. Me and Skits met some dude over the weekend that he has connection with WWE, and he said that whole budget cut thing about the access was totally false. He said the reason why he didn't have, the reason why that we didn't have access this year due to the fact that LA Live is scared that people will throw lawsuits because people were having exaggeration in LA Live because at least 15 people passed out last year. So LA Live told WWE, no, we can't. You guys can't have access. They basically told them like in the last minute. So WWE had to find another place, maybe an indoor place, but they were too late, so that's why they decided to do access. They tried to do the LA Convention Center, but the problem is they won so much money. And now I came to think about, like, holy shit, there's less porn conventions now in the LA Convention Center, and And then I always thought of this: why they never have Comic-Con in the LA Convention Center? Because LA's a bigger city. Why they're having it in San Diego? Now I understand why. Because the LA Convention Center wants too much money, and you have to pay their freaking union workers. So that could be another reason why. Because they do want SummerSlam to have like sort of like a WrestleMania type feel to it, and you can't do that without no access. So if they're gonna want to do another access, New York City is a perfect spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have to worry about if they want to do something outdoor with access. I mean, out there in New York, I mean, Tom, you live there. I don't know. I doubt you guys have 80-degree weather in New York in August. So
yeah, we do.
I mean,
August weather can get pretty hot and can get really humid. It can get, even if it's 80 degrees with the humidity, it can feel like it's 90 degrees. But the great thing about New York City, and I'm not sure exactly how Los Angeles is, it's because everything is so close together. Every single block, you're not going to go without some sort of stand selling drinks and food, or without a big, even if it's like a supermarket selling drinks and everything. It's very easy to get around, with the subway system that we have. And, there's a taxi, honking every 2 seconds, so you can never miss a taxi. I think it's a good place, but like I said, the whole thing that I'm thinking about is that, they said New York, New Jersey. So if they do access in New Jersey, but then they do the event in New York, then that's going to be a little bit more complicated for people to get, down to New Jersey, because the tolls to go on the bridges down into Jersey are expensive as heck. It's not always easy to sit in traffic for an hour or two, especially when there's a high volume of people going to somewhere at one point. When there's a Giant game, or a Jet game going on, you're going to expect a high volume amount of people trying to get down to MetLife Stadium. But we'll see what they announce. It's a year away. It's pretty far. They're probably going to make more announcements on it in 2015. But I'm excited to see what they're going to do, where they're going to hold it, and I don't know. Maybe hopefully by then, Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose will be our champion, and not Brock Lesnar or Cena.
Yeah. Question: will you even go to SummerSlam? Because I went 6 years in a row, and there's some I enjoy. Maybe 1 or 2 I didn't enjoy, but hey, I mean, I'm actually up for it. I mean, I was kind of like getting sick and tired of it, so like I kind of want something else now, like at least a Royal Rumble here, So, would you go next year to SummerSlam?
Yeah, if I'm still around this area, I never know. You never know when or if you're going to move. If I'm still around this area by then, I would say I definitely would want to go. I've never been to a WrestleMania access, so I'd definitely like to see, how cool that would be interacting with all the wrestlers in person.
Yeah,
and I think it would be, by the time next year SummerSlam goes along, who knows who could be on the main roster. We could have Sami Zayn. We could have Sami Zayn. We could have
Did you really mention Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, that was me.
This guy.
It's not like he's really going to be on the main roster after the stunt that he pulled last night.
Yeah, that's something else we mentioned.
Say it again?
That's something that we didn't mention. Rey Mysterio.
I've been waiting for that all show.
Mention what happened last night.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio basically he was on a Titantron at the AAA pay-per-view, saying basically that he's coming soon in Spanish. So
while he's under contract for WWE, you're not allowed to appear for any other wrestling promotion while you're under contract with WWE. Doesn't matter where. And then on top of that, there's a sign that shows up kind of like a vignette after Rey Mysterio goes off air that says free Rey. Free Rey. Why? Because Rey Mysterio has a dispute going on with WWE. Since he's been so injured for so long because of knee problems and doing stem cell rehab on his knee, they decided to extend his contract by an extra year because of how much time he missed. So he's in this dispute right now that he wants to get out of it because they want to turn him into an ambassador role, but he still wants to fight more. Well, he's got a busted knee. He hasn't been fighting, so they decided to extend his contract because that's a stipulation that WWE has. If a talent hasn't fought for a certain amount of time and he's owed them dates or performances, they can choose to extend his contract. They had the same option with CM Punk, which they chose not to extend, but they did it to Rey. So that's the problem with Rey. Rey wants to go elsewhere where he could actually fight, be closer to also family, and be in AAA where he's not fighting at all in WWE. So there's a dispute going on. And joining him was also Alberto Del Rio, who was also bashing and talking shit on WWE. So you have two Hispanic Latino workers on AAA, very closely associated with WWE, basically turning the country against WWE, AAA being one of the premier programs for Mexico. That's bad. That's horrible because your second biggest demographic for the United States and for viewership is Latinos.
Yeah. You know what? I don't blame WWE this in a way because they want to find another top Hispanic guy. The problem is they've been struggling to find that guy. They thought
they found him all right.
Well, Kalisto?
Yep.
Yeah, but I'd rather them.
I don't think they need. What they need to do with Kalisto is they need to not just make him a star jobber and just depend on his sales. Kalisto is just breaking ground with what I've seen from him. He is doing stuff I've never seen from anybody. He's exciting in the ring. He knows how to speak English. The guy can do it all. So I don't know why the WWE wouldn't want to market him as the main guy and push him heavily.
Yeah,
they could have had him. They could have had him come out as a tag team to help establish a tag team division with Ricardo, but because of the reason that Triple H didn't like the fact that Ricardo was having obese problems, calling him Bumblebee, which again is another racist remark. So when you fire someone and they call him like a fat ass and they call him Bumblebee, which is like a racist slander remark, that also doesn't look good. So within 6 months, you've had three bad Latin workers for the WWE basically remarking negative remarks. People are going to start getting the idea.
Ray hasn't had any negative remarks. You mean to tell me that you don't think that Triple A can't really blame WWE?
Tom, you mean to tell me that you don't think Rey Mysterio had anything to do with that vignette that came up after him that said "Free Rey, Free Rey"? You're high.
I mean,
and if he did know about it,
that's a little bit. But you think he would? You think he did that by himself? You think he came up with that by himself? No.
You think that you don't? Hold on. You think for a second that because it says "Free Rey," that's not negative coming from Rey Mysterio? You're crazy.
Yeah, but how do you know that's him? That could be friends and family pushing for him and saying, that could be Alberto too. Alberto could be, telling Ray, you need to get out. You need to come back to AAA and come with me. And
Conan, I'm going to have to throw Conan in this because Conan is a big instigator too. He instigates a lot of shit too. So Conan is basically trying to get these guys to leave WWE for a long time just to join AAA. So I don't want to point fingers.
Yeah, because I kind of think he kind of started the whole Free Rey thing. I mean, and showing that video and that AAA event, it just shows me that Rey wants out. He wants out of WWE and get out of the contract. But
so to not piss them off, he's not going to say anything negative, but he'll approve other people saying it on his behalf. That's kind of like a way of walking that fine line. Alberto Del Rio doesn't care. He doesn't work with the company anymore. I could see Alberto Rio saying, hey, you know what, you let me go just so you could save millions on royalties. Just because someone else who was an administrator for social media goes ahead and says, "Oh, I'm going to sue." So then WWE plays repair and they let go of the talent. So then why does the social media manager completely have an ironclad contract where he also isn't fired as well when he's had multiple issues with other talent also? What is it about this guy that prevents him from getting fired, but yet talent gets fired?
I don't know. He must be friends with Kevin Dunn.
You know what? It doesn't change the fact that I still think, and it's really obvious, they're going to let Alberto go for the fact that, A, he's more recognized, he shouldn't have overreacted, which he admitted, but also they're going to save more money with him. I still think they should have let go of the social media manager, too, considering this isn't his first time. This is not his first offense. So to make it even, to make it fair, they should have let both of them go, and because they didn't, Alberto Del Rio really has a case against him. And then if you add Sin Cara in the mix, then it kind of looks like that Triple H is kind of like anti-Mexican.
You talking about the real Sin Cara?
Yes, the real Sin Cara. See,
the real Sin Cara was just garbage.
Because a lot of the reason came from that he didn't want to learn English. English is the second most spoken language. Eventually, it's going to become the first. Do you mean to tell me that they couldn't get a translator in there to help facilitate working spots
right now
with Sin Cara?
It's the most spoken language worldwide. I could be mistaken.
You know, guys, I'm sorry to cut this whole thing off, but I have some much bigger news than fucking Sin Cara and other fuckers. The Ricochet versus fucking Okada. What the fuck?
Damn you, Skip. Damn you.
What?
How do you go from talking about something negative like WWE racism to that?
Because that's more important. I could give two shits about fucking all that bullshit.
Because you're not Hispanic. I get that. It's just not smart business.
It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. I don't care
it's just not smart business to just piss off and fuck off not only your biggest demographic, but for Hispanic or Mexican workers. It just, I don't know. To me, that was big news that no one really is making that much of a big deal about.
I wouldn't include Sin Cara in that because, number one, Del Rio hates the original Sin Cara, and I mean hates as in, if he could, he would stab him right in the face.
Oh yeah, they've pulled guns on each other before. Everyone knows that.
So I wouldn't really include the original Sin Cara. The whole thing with Rey Mysterio, I don't know. It's tough for me to think that that's racism because it's not. It's WWE.
I'm just saying it gives the impression
that you're injury prone and you're getting injured every 5 seconds. We want to.
It comes off like you have a negative tone towards, like Triple H would have a negative tone towards Hispanics or towards Mexicans specifically because Ray's mentality is like, okay, I'm hurt and I'm loyal, and you extend my contract by an extra year when I don't want to, but yet CM Punk gets a slide. Why?
Look.
Is it because he's white?
All right, I'm going to tell you straight up. The whole Sin Cara thing, he got released with 15 other guys. That has nothing to do with it. And I believe there was a couple other people that...
And he sucks.
Yeah, he's garbage. He's garbage. Who cares about Sin Cara? Why are we still talking about Sin Cara? Now, the whole Rey Mysterio...
is trash, and I agree, Skids.
The whole Rey Mysterio, Del Rio shit, I understand where you come from the Del Rio thing. The fucking social media guy should have been fired too. Now, back to Rey Mysterio. The Rey Mysterio thing, he just wants to be let go, but WWE, they still want to keep him. Why? Because they can still make money off of him with the fucking merchandise, with the mask, and all, and stuff like that. It is what it is. We have 6 minutes left here on the Mysterio.
It just comes off as racist. It just does. So
I don't know. Look,
it's a pattern. That's all I'm saying.
We could definitely continue this conversation on Wednesday because we got 6 minutes left. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Heads. We are on YouTube.com/Wrestling Heads, Instagram Wrestling Heads. Everything is definitely Wrestling Heads. WrestlingHeads.com. I'm working on this weekly 5. You can ask Matt. I'm actually in the middle of it. What else was I about to say? Follow me at WA Skits if you want to talk to me about any wrestling things. So hit me up. Just don't beg for no follow like some folks were doing on Instagram. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to everybody so everybody can throw out their Twitters or whatnot. Go ahead, Oscar.
All right. You guys can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter, Instagram, and Vine. Check out WrestlingHeads.com. I'm starting to post a classic match of the week because it's SummerSlam week. this past week, but a crazy ass week. So yeah, I'll go back on it next weekend. So, or hopefully, because I'm moving. So hope I get back to it, and not then I'll keep you updated on that. And before I shut my mouth of today's show, I just want to say, Bruce, I feel your pain. I'm Latino myself, so yeah. Oh yeah, another thing, follow Wrestling Heads on Instagram. Check out all those pictures we had at SummerSlam weekend. You don't want to miss it.
All right, well, you can follow me at @2tweetme. That's all you need to know. But I also want to give a shout-out to the Weekly Wrestling Podcast for coming on and for providing results for Smash Wrestling this weekend. I was checking that out, and, you know, I was hearing great things, especially about the Young Bucks Super Smash Brothers match. I recommend, if you are in Canada, of course you got to check it out, but even if you're here in the States, give Smash Wrestling a look. You know, when it's called PWG of Canada, you can't go wrong. Also, a big shout-out to Chris, ROH Code. I saw you posted some PWX results this weekend. I'm going to be checking that out after this show. So big shout-out to them. And that's basically it. Make sure to check out WrestlingHeads.com. I was checking it out this weekend. I can't speak. A lot of good writers coming on there, posting some great stuff on there. And, you know, of course, Oscar, Skips, and Chris are all doing their thing.
Go ahead, bro.
All right. Feel free to follow me on anything, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, whatever. Bruce Kraft Jr., Kraft spelled with a K, all one word.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to comment on Smash Wrestling once again, that is definitely the place to check out. They actually released their last event before, two events before this show for free, which has Kyle O'Reilly versus Josh Alexander on it and much more. So I definitely suggest checking that out on smash-wrestling.com. But enough Smash Wrestling. I'm going to plug Weekly Wrestling Podcast at Weekly W Podcast and my own Twitter, Matthew Grant, the first days of.
Definitely, man. Again, shout out to our boy Chris. Give us a hit up. We haven't heard from you in a while, but he's definitely doing some work on the website. So yeah. But until then, I'm Skits. That is Oscar, Tom, Bruce, and our boy Matt. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace. I have one more question before we leave, guys.
What time is it? WH Radio.